After Vietnam, I was assigned to Fort Hood, Texas, 2nd Armored Division, where I got to be a battery commander for the first time. I commanded 2 batteries, a firing battery, 105 SP, and then we converted to a 155 SP. And then the colonel wanted me to run headquarters service battery, which had more administrative problems. So I did that for a year. And then for the last 6 months, I was there. I was both the battalion XO and S3 because the battalion had 1 lieutenant colonel, me as a captain, 1 other captain, and 50 lieutenants. The lieutenants would be there for 3 months and off to Vietnam to be an FO. Fort Hood was just void of any majors and very few captains. I met my wife, got married, and instead of going back, which one of the former commanders wanted me to go be his S3, in a battalion of artillery. I said, I don't think so. So I was sent to the missile school and sent to Germany to be a battery commander in a Pershing 1A missile unit, in which I did that for 2.5 years. I was promoted to major. I commanded as a major. From there, I went to ROTC, Assistant Professor of Military Science. Actually, I was on duty orders back to Vietnam. And when we arrived at Charleston, my mom and dad picked my wife and me up and said, some colonel's been calling you, wanting to get in touch with you. They want to reassign you. So I called this colonel, and happened to be in my hometown of Greenville, South Carolina. So they needed someone at Furman University to be the action officer to plan the Fort Bragg summer camp. So I was reassigned to ROTC to at Furman University, and I did that for 3+ years, and then to Command and Staff College, back to Fort Sill, Battalion XO, Group S3, made Lieutenant Colonel, and back to Germany 10 years later to command the same battalion that I had commanded a battery in previously. And I spent 30 months as battalion commander of the 3rd of the 84th Pershing Missile Unit. During the Cold War, I had 36 missiles. I had 1 battery on QRA, Quick Reaction Alert, ready to fire a missile within minutes. And that was one of the things that the Russians, the Soviets, really worried about was our Pershing missiles, because the strike could be so soon and so accurate. And we would bring the missiles back to Cape Canaveral to test fire. I had a battery that we actually take them off the site to make sure everything is exactly as it was, and take the nuclear component out, and we would take them to be shipped back to Cape Canaveral. And I made 1 visit to witness one of the firings. In addition to the 1,200 soldiers that I had an infantry company, was operation. When I deployed to the field, the company belonged to me. I actually had court-martial jurisdiction over that company, because court-martial was geographical. Their battalion commander was 100 miles away. He had Article 15 jurisdiction, but I had court-martial jurisdiction. So I had a special relationship with the infantry company. I took PT with them. When I'd have a battalion parade, they paraded with my battalion. I would have the band from Heidelberg come down. We'd have a parade at least once a year, maybe twice a year. I'd have an NCO-led parade. And so the infantry company was really, they invited to all the parties that were part of the unit. When we deployed, they deployed. In addition to that, was an air defense unit that I never saw, also had court-martial jurisdiction over, which I didn't have to activate by like 1 time. So I had all total about 1,600 soldiers judicially that I was responsible for as a lieutenant colonel with like 1 legal clerk. It was a great job. I loved the job as a battalion commander. The friends we made, relationships established with the Germans. We still have friends there today from our first visit. Some of our longest friends, actually, my wife and I, basically that was our honeymoon, going to Germany. We were married, and 4 months after marriage, 6 months after marriage, we were on the way to Germany. So that was an experience. Some of our longest friends are the ones we met in Germany the first time. From Germany, the War College, Carlisle, Pennsylvania, a year there, and then to the Pentagon. And in the Pentagon, I was assigned to the Army Staff, to the Nuclear Division of the New Chemical Directorate, and I was designated the Strategic Arms Control Expert, which I became. And I didn't learn anything and know anything about nuclear arms control, but since I commanded the closest thing to it, a Persian missile, but with the Marines and we were the honest brokers to keep the Navy and the Air Force balanced with respect to their priorities. So in that capacity, I had a lot of faced one-to-one situations with the Chief of Staff, many times with the Deputy Chief of Staff of Operations. I would be called on. While I was on the Pentagon on the Joint Staff, I had some unusual and special, in addition to the special one-on-one situation dealing with the Chief of Staff in the Army. That was a special thing, a privilege as a Lieutenant Colonel. Actually, he was TDY in Korea, and we had to meet executive session on this special compartmented secret thing that I was working. So I had to spend the night in the Pentagon so I could get to the secure top secret telephone to talk to General Wickham. I said, there's a meeting tomorrow morning, and I got to tell him the Army Staff's position. So I told him what it should be. He said, okay, that's good. So the next morning, I go to executive session of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. There's General Gabriel and his two-star general, his agent, Harley Hughes, Admiral Watkins, and a Navy captain, I can't remember his name, P.X. Kelly Commandant, and Lieutenant Colonel Wickersham. And I'm sitting in the chair of the Chief of Staff of the Army. When the chairman goes around, well, what's the Army's position? I'm sitting there as a Lieutenant Colonel and telling that the United States Army position is this. And so, I mean, the Air Force two-star, he's like, he can't believe it. I mean, here I am. I'm sitting in the executive session with the Joint Chiefs, and I'm representing the Army as a Lieutenant Colonel. And, of course, no one knew that. Even a general, I had told General Wickham, I said, what if General Thurman finds out there's an executive session? He said, don't worry about it. He's not cleared. So the Vice Chief of Staff of the Army could not know what I was saying or what I was writing. Only the Chief of Staff of the Army. It was unbelievable.